the problem. Like, I keep trying to explain to him, like, OG, what real clout is. And I'm like, y'all keep thinking money, like, oh, nigga, take that from you. Like, that's not nothing. Like, you won't even have that. Like, it'll be bad. But it's like, that fast, I figured out who the NBA player was. Like, God delivered him right to my door. I'm like, cuz if you even have to go walk with this fucking man after you didn't see me just cuss this man out about disrespecting this fucking black lady, bro, I'm telling him, like, I'm gonna make life bad. Like,
Did you say who the NBA player was?
Yes.
Who's the NBA player?
So most of y'all who watch this channel also probably watch Company Man, and y'all know about his Culture United show that they run over there. Usually always a pretty good discussion. It can be kind of long. So I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but either way, it would be worth it if you did. But in this video, we're going to play some clips from there, or not some clips, but like a clip from there, because they had glasses on, they had AD on. Now we're not going to play the whole thing, of course, like 3 hours, but we're going to play a segment, should I say, not clip, but segment, where Glasses is talking about the whole situation with Adin, why he said what he said, his perspective on some things. And it was pretty good perspective, man. I kind of wanted to hear him talk about it like that outside of addressing it on his platform. Some of the things he said, though, I agree with him, but some of them I think like maybe he should look at it a different way. I think he should look at it a different way, but we'll get into that. So let's get started.
But the where we are now in this week, this conversation has turned into a much larger conversation about what we do as a community and who do we allow to disrespect us. And Glasses Malone, you were at the forefront of that conversation over the past week, and rightfully so, in my opinion. I think you've been getting a lot of praise for the way that you handled the way out of pocket disrespect, racist disrespect that was coming from low value streamer Adin Ross. We are now on Thursday. As you look at where these conversations have gone, Glasses, what stands out to you most right now?
Before Glasses get into that real quick, I want to say this, and this is just my opinion on it. This thing went crazy. This thing went super viral. And not only was it about Adin and Dochi and all of that, but it opened up more broader conversations, right? It led to more, I guess there were tangents that came off of this. One of them was a clip I seen on Jay Nolan's channel when he was talking about Van Lathan and I forget the girl's name right now, but they had a conversation about it. And so this thing has provoked a lot of thought in one way or another. And one of the reasons I think this went so viral and that it provoked these conversations and that we're having this conversation here on the Culture United is because of the genuineness of the response. I don't think that it would have went this way. It might have still went viral, but I don't think it would have been impactful had the response just been for clicks and views. And I think that right there makes all the difference, because we can tell, right? We can tell when something's genuine, when it's not. And we believe that when Glasses responded, it was out of genuine anger, indignation, right? Bible says, be angry, but do not sin. But it also says there's a righteous indignation. There are some things that should really piss you off and that you need to address, right? And so I think that was it. It was the righteous indignation at that transgression. And because of that right there, it sent out a certain type of energy. And then, now we find ourselves right here where we at having these conversations. So I just wanted to point that out.
It's very, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's very odd to be thankful for something like this. Like, I get it that, and I'm just being like honest. Like, it's odd. I don't really know how to feel. It kind of hurt. I know that seems weird, but it don't feel good. It's like, do sisters really feel like we just let this pass? Like, white men just, have the ability just to disrespect? Like, I could see if we talking about critiquing and, you don't approve of somebody's arts, but Elle used to tell me that, like, there's a place where sisters really kind of don't feel like it's right. So to kind of see it at this level where it's hundreds of people DMing me saying that, I'm like, bro, this is, I guess because, being 46, I remember this. I remember growing up and watching black people stand up for black people. That was just like what I saw all the time. I remember being 12, 11, and Los Angeles went up in flames. Cash, remember, AD, remember, it went up in flames over what they did to Rodney King. Like, I've always noticed black people standing up for black people. Like, I never see. So in my mind, this is the consistent theme my whole life. Then one day you just do kind of what you saw your whole life, what you've been taught your whole life, all of the above. And people are like, man, thank you. And you like I didn't go rescue a baby out of a house, where most human beings, that's a scary thing, running in a burning house and getting a baby. Okay, that's a handful of humans. But like, is it a handful of black dudes, you mean, that you think will say, hey, you know what? I don't care if you're, because I don't even know who this dude is. Like, it don't matter to me who he is. It's like this, you're a white man calling this lady a barrel of bitches, whores, dirty sluts. You don't care about that black people shit. You don't care about that black queen shit. You don't, sucking dick like that. That wasn't like, oh, you know what? I think you're a plant. Oh, I don't like your album. Hey, I don't like your song. That's not even a thing that's mentioned in part of that rant. So I guess it's just funny. And one promise I made myself, and this is one of the hardest promises I ever made myself, is I'm not going to have this conversation with nobody trying to elevate the conversation. Like, I refuse to let people make content out of it. Like, I don't have a movement. I ain't no shirts. I was just telling Top Dog on my way over here, like, people asking me what I'm about to do or what's the next move. The next move, and I want to hurt this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, that shit made me feel something. I don't have no shirts. It ain't no hats. Ain't no lineup for no bigger conversation. Like, this motherfucker was out of line. Like, he popping it, talking crazy about this lady. You know what I mean? Like, there's no marketing. Like, if that don't bother you,
Now, right here, I hear what he's saying. And I would say this. I don't want to say I disagree. I would say this. I can understand why there would be no plan, because it wasn't planned. It wasn't a planned response. It was a genuine response to a violation. So, of course, there would be no plan. That's what makes it even all that more genuine, because he's not like, all right, this is the next step. This is the next step. Then you would say, all right, this was planned out. And it doesn't mean that the response wasn't warranted. But again, the impact of the response, I think, is due to the deep genuineness of it. And so it's understandable why he wouldn't have a plan, because he didn't plan it. It just came out because he was pissed off. That's cool. Now, the only thing I would say is, I don't think that you allow that energy to just dissipate. Okay? You don't have to go out and get fuck Adin Ross t-shirts, even though I wouldn't be opposed to it, and I'd probably buy one myself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go making Adin Ross diss jerseys and doing the novelty stuff. I'm not saying you got to do that and start doing the things that would give them a reason to say, oh, he's clout chasing. I'm not saying that. However, to let the moment go, to not use the moment as a springboard to a larger conversation, to maybe open up a door to perhaps galvanize more people to come in and get on the same page as you. Like, this could be an opportunity to really silence people like Adin and others. And I'm not meaning silence in a way where we run them off the internet or anything, because that won't happen. They'll always have some ears, but to really put the clamps on and nip this in the bud for a very, very long time to come. And so I just don't think it's wise to let that energy go, right? Maybe, and it sounds like that's what he's saying. Like, look, man, I didn't have a plan. There ain't really no next steps. I just wanted to punch him in his mouth. I get that. But I don't think the next step either is to move on. I don't agree with that. I don't think you just move on. I think you use this as an opportunity to galvanize people and to maybe convince others, especially those who are close to Adin Ross and people like him. Hey, man, you need to get back where you belong. Get on the right side of things here, right? Because momentum can influence people to, get their shit together, to get in line. Sometimes that's what you need. You need something that will catapult and act as a springboard to get people to see, okay, we've been doing this the wrong way, or we've been giving support to the wrong type of person. Because the more people who speak about it, the more people you get on board, you get to they get to speak to their audiences, right? And so, yeah, Glasses went viral. This conversation's been all over, but there may be somewhere people who may not have heard much about this, or maybe some of the people involved, their audience haven't heard them speak about this from the perspective of Glasses and people like myself and others, right? Maybe they heard it from only Adin's perspective. Who knows, right? But the fact of the matter is this: don't let the energy go to waste. Don't let the opportunity go to waste. That would be the only thing I would add to that.
Man, like what the fuck? You know, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. This is not a plan. I didn't know who this motherfucker was. It wasn't about clout. Like, again, I don't even believe money is clout. Fame ain't clout. Clout is respect. Clout is when you can walk down the street and everybody know what you about. Clout mean you go where you go and ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Clout ain't, you know, that ain't really what clout, you know, what they talking about. So I see it twisting in weird directions, but it's just like, I don't know what, there's not a movement. Even when people saying they stand with me, like I'm standing with this sister. Like it ain't about me. It's this sister right here that's getting disrespected. You know what I'm saying? So it's odd for me, Jay. And you know, like, again, this is making me a little emotional because it's like, you know, like what the fuck is going on to where sisters really feel like this? And today on my stream, like a sister really.
Again, Glasses said, you know, he feels odd and people saying they stand with him, but don't, you know, he's standing with her. But I think in this situation, right, because, you know, Glasses seem like he's a leader, right? He talks about it, insinuates, I guess, that he's a leader even amongst his gang, or not just his gang, just in general. Talks about the influence that he has, especially on the West Coast. He talked about that in this situation, right? He said, Wack can't tell him nothing. And a lot of people are going to get on board with what he says when he says something. So that shows that he has, that he's a leader and he has some influence. So in this instance, I think if people say they stand with you, then they stand with you. Even if they wouldn't have done it before, even if they wouldn't have done it for Dochi, if they'll do it for you, then again, you use that influence to accomplish the goal. What is the goal? To shut people like Adin Ross the fuck up and make sure this doesn't happen again. Right? Period, point blank. And so if you have to use them because of their respect for you, they'll move how you say move or do what you say do. I think that's an opportunity, and I wouldn't want to see it go to waste.
Really put it in perspective. Like with black women and black men's, you know, situation is different. And again, not the oppression Olympics, but bro, like if you do, like, and I kept saying it with Meg, like I couldn't figure out why it felt so different. And somebody explained it to me today. Like Meg is dealing with racism and sexism. That really cleared it for me. Because like I watch brothers deal with racism all the time. I see that shit normal, right? We deal with that all the time. But I'm not used to seeing sexism with racism. That's not something I'm used to seeing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've ever saw a video where somebody said like, you know, hard ER bitch, nigger bitch. Like that shit just.
That's crazy.
You know, one thing being a nigga, it's another thing being a nigga bitch. Like that's just.
Facts.
I mean, it's just, and I'm starting to notice like, oh shit, this is way worse than I thought. So again, even people asking me, do I have a plan? I'm like, what plan? Like the plan was to, you know, get next to this motherfucker, slap his head off.
But Glasses, you got to come up with a plan, my guy. You got to. You got the spotlight. You got the spotlight, and people are ready to galvanize around you and maybe even mobilize on your behalf. Okay? They might not be willing to do it just for Dochi. Right? It's just a fact. So if that's the case, you can't say, look to her and do it for her, because some people might not do it for her. They'll do it for you. And so if you can get some things done and accomplished because of you and who you are in this moment, I think you got to do that.
It was the only plan. You know what I mean? The plan was like, let me correct that because that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know, dog.
1 second applause. BKL, I think Glasses raised a great point here. You know, I think as black men in general, we're used to racism, but we're not used to racism on top of sexism. What thoughts do you, either of you, I mean, free to speak freely, as you guys watch this conversation take place this week, BK particularly, I watched your live stream and you had a lot of smoke, you know, for the way pretty much all communities tend to treat black women at different points in time.
Yeah. I'm glad that Glasses said what he said about I think the core of it all being standing with Dochi and just with Black women in general. Like, it's not about Adin. I've been seeing so much of the commentary being like focused around Adin, and it's like, fuck Adin, literally fuck Adin Ross. Like, if anybody else doesn't want to co-sign that, like, that's fine. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this man is a racist. He's a self-loathing anti-Semite. Like Justin says, he's a low-value weirdo. However you want to, categorize him. But this is a white man that has blown up off of Black culture, and then is getting a bigger bag off of dissing Black people. And so, like,
Real quick to her point right there. I was thinking about this yesterday and the day before, how I can see the shift of Adin Ross, right? He grew up, most of his audience now grew up online. Most of his audience was young. They're aging out. Look at what he's been doing, though. He's been aligning himself with the likes of people like academics and pretty much the Black streamers and stuff like that to tap into their audiences, doing the same type of, I guess, outlandish, hyperbolic, controversial things, following the same format. And yeah, because he's trying to reach that demographic. And again, he sees that it works for other creators like him, right? Regardless of who that may be. It could be a Trap Lord Rod, it could be whoever you may think about. But he knows that he can't do that unless he has some Black people on his side, because the pushback will be too great. The only problem is this time he just went too far and those people couldn't save him because the right one stood up, right? So that's the only difference. But yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day, how I've been noticing that transition. And I think it's a very strategic transition. It's not by accident.
See it just being like Dochi versus Adin, and I just don't care what Adin has to say. In the music, Dochi talked about being a dark-skinned Black woman and how life gets dark when you dark like me. And I think we got to engage with that more. We got to engage with her whole, the third verse of her being like, they call me the intellect among the pussy rap. Like, you're degrading other Black women in order to like prop me up, like, and the fact that like so many Black men, like, yeah, to your point, you feeling like Glasses feeling like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, all these think pieces and all this about, oh, we got to stand up for Dochi and Dochi. When we literally watched what happened with Meg happen, and people went from driving the boat to like, show me the bullet wounds, bitch. Like, Adin Ross said, show me the bullet wounds, bitch, about Megan, and there was no wave of like, oh my God, we got to protect our sisters.
Right.
It's because of the different type of women that they are, I think. And Dochi spoke about that unironically in the song, and that's being overshadowed. Her feeling like she's stepping into, her star power, as the heiress of TDE, of someone who respects the art form. That's not being talked about. We're just like centering Adin. And I think like it's important to talk about Adin because, some people don't know, like it isn't just like a quirked up white boy that says the N-word. Like, he interviewed Donald Trump.
Right.
Who now is responsible for deploying ICE in all of our cities and executing people and all this stuff. Like, he laundered his image and his platform, for that, for nefarious purposes. So I'm not surprised he's talking about bitches and dirty and all this stuff. I don't care about Black this. And then, of course, now he's donating money to Black businesses to cover that. Like, fuck that. Fuck him.
Right.
And I think this song was incredible. I think Dochi is like one of the most important artists of our time. And her dropping this song allows us to contend with a lot of these issues that exist within the community. And this misogynoir, which is specific to Black women, this racism and sexism at the intersection, it's not being dealt with in our community. And so, yeah, like, I mean, I know me and some of my friends are like, oh, I'm so shocked that men are speaking up, but I think it's about affiliations. Maybe it's like TDE affiliations. Maybe it's, oh, she's a conscious rapper, so now I feel like I got to jump out the gate for her. But when it's women that do like to shake a little ass, it's like, oh, dance, bitch, and show me the bullet wounds, bitch. So I think there's larger conversations to be having, and it shouldn't be centered around Glasses or Adin or any men bucking up at each other, because this was a dope song, and we need to like deal with that and what's coming in 2026 for Dochi. So, I mean, that's my thing.
1 second applause.
Wow. You spoke on so much. I think it's funny because I feel a little bit for Glasses in a way, because I could feel kind of the hurt that he feels like, damn, y'all really feel like kind of unprotected. And I feel like that's kind of reminiscent, I think, of different like Black thought leaders that I heard at different times. I love how this is kind of cyclical. But I feel like Black men have taken up for me and protected me throughout my entire life. So I understand what he means when he says, what, this new to y'all? And I think it's just a really unique time where it's like Glasses just happened to be who he was at this time. Because I do think in some ways this is connected to like the explosion of the beef. I think Adin is only attacking Dochi as a result of the beef.
Yeah, there's no doubt that that's the main reason, but not the only one. I do want to say something before I forget about what she said. I think this is in part, maybe not large part, but things like this are in part due to the whole racism is dead. There's no racism in 2025 movement. We can't really say 2026, but people will say that too. But you know, that whole movement that was going on, people ain't racist, that whole side. Racism is dead, this, that, and the other, because what it does is it minimizes just how vicious and how damaging and how evil it is. So when people say things, it's almost like, oh, the seriousness of it, you kind of lose that. It gets lost. And so you can make excuses. Oh, it was just, he was saying it because of this, and he was saying it because of that, and he ain't racist. It because in some of these people's mind, there's no racism. Racism is dead in 2025. Ain't nobody racist. I never experienced racism. No, it's just, and so it's easier for people like Adin to hide, especially behind verbiage. Now, Aiden's kind of stupid, so he's not as smooth with his words as some of the other races are. But when you understand this, you can see right through it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, man, that's one of the byproducts of the whole racism is dead movement, is that these things don't hit some of our people as hard when they see it, and it's harder for them to recognize, because in a way, even if it's subjectively, they think that they've been bamboozled into thinking that, oh, this isn't a problem these days, when in actuality it actually is. And it could even be an even worse problem than in times past, because back then it was at least out in the open, and so you knew what to expect. But now they move a little bit more in the shadows, right? And they do things a little more to subvert some of the things that we got going on. So,
and the fact that it's being made cool again to stand up for us, because I think that some people are not really solid in their stances. They kind of go with what seems like the community will accept. You know, it's kind of like, what can I do to not be exiled? Like, I know y'all remember when Black Lives Matter was big, everybody was pro-Black. As soon as they changed that narrative and was anti-woke, niggas started changing to, I don't want to hear that woke shit. So it's a certain group of people who's kind of going to go with whatever seems like the wave, where they won't get called out. And I just think we happen to be at a time where Glasses was the right person at the right time to spark that fire, where the wave became, what the fuck is up with y'all letting this nigga talk about Black people and Black women in this way? And I understand what he was saying, like racism and sexism. I don't know if that's all the way true though, because I do think Black men experience a certain type of racism and sexism, like when they make it like y'all are super freaky or you can't control. Like, if you think about what Adin said about Glasses, why don't you take care of all your baby mamas? Mm-hmm. In a way, that's a level of as if you just this overly sexual beast and you just going around, you think with your dick and you irresponsible. In a way, that was kind of like, if you a Black man, I bet you're weak in this way. So,
hey man, that's a good point.
I understand his pain when he like, damn, I can't.
That's a good point. I wasn't even thinking about it from that perspective, but I mean, I looked at it as being a racist comment, but I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of being sexist even. Good point.
Believe women don't feel that way, but I don't really experience that in real life. I think I was explaining this to my brother earlier day, my little brother, I was saying, you know, we live on a planet with a lot of worlds. And I think in
Right.
that video gamer,
Right.
streamer world, in their world, it's cool to talk like that. In our world, we know niggas will knock you the fuck out quick. I ain't never been in a situation where I'm walking around somewhere or I'm in a group and a person tried to violate me. It could be a nigga I don't know. And he gonna be like, you good? What's going on? What's up with this? And that's my world. But it's another world where people like, oh, what you going soft for a bitch? What you out here trying to take up for women? What you out here getting mad? Oh, you talking about that race shit? So in that world, they don't understand a person like Glasses. So what I'm happy about is the shift in the narrative where the people who are kind of followers are kind of getting the lesson of, nah, there's more power in standing with your people. Because in a way, when another group disrespect your women, they really disrespect y'all as men. They're saying y'all don't have the ability to stand up for your women. Like the surprise is like, who y'all think y'all are? Y'all think we gotta respect y'all women? Like, what power do you have? If you listen to some of his things, why you don't do this? Why you don't do that?
Exactly.
They're kind of saying you black men don't have the power to tell us what to do with your women. And I just love that in this moment, a lot of people are kind of like, yeah, we do. Because to be honest, you get your power off of us. So if we reset, like I think he said something like an NBA person was supposed to come on his stream and he ain't coming. So he's trying all these different tactics.
The crazy part is, let me
hold on. Did you?
I was gonna say she was cooking, Glass. You should let her keep cooking, man. She was cooking.
Give a chance to finish. Let me just make sure.
No, it's fine, because I know I'm gonna be in Glass to do this all day. Go ahead, Glass.
No. I knew the NBA player like that, and see, this be the problem. Like, I keep trying to explain to him, like, OG, what real clout is. And I'm like, y'all keep thinking money, like, bro, niggas will take that from you. Like, that's not nothing. Like, you won't even have that. Like, it'll be bad. But it's like, that fast, I figured out who the NBA player was. Like, God delivered him right to my door. I'm like, cuz if you even half-ass go walk with this motherfucking man after you didn't see me just cuss this man out about disrespecting this fucking black lady, bro, I'm telling him, like, I'm gonna make life bad. Like,
Did you say you know who the NBA player was?
Yes.
Who's the NBA player?
No, because then I want him to say, then if I say to y'all, then it becomes I'm bullying him.
You had to ask for sure. Good job, man. Hey, I was thinking this too. Coming at Adin with violence ain't the way. People like him, you just hit him where it hurts, man. You hit him in his pockets. You hit him in his relationships. You make him suffer. You make him miserable. Yeah, we're not going to do nothing to you, bro. We're not going to smack you. We're not going to hit you. If I see you out, I'm not going to touch you. Don't even worry about it. There's more than one ways to skin a cat. And with people like him, hit them where it hurts, in their pockets, kill the relationships, do that. And I think you'll have more of an impact, because putting your hands on them, doing something physical, you kind of feeding right into what he wants anyway, right?
Publicly.
Okay. Well,
it's like it already has a
text me on the side. I'm right here.
People, but it's like, why am I forcing you to be black? Being like human.
A lot of people think they're in a post. People think they're in a post-racial America. Let's get down to the bottom of it.
Right.
People feel like they're in a post-racial.
Yo, it's crazy. I promise y'all I didn't watch this whole clip. I watched like 2 minutes of it, or segment. She's making my exact point I just said. Same exact point, bro. That's what, and I think that is one of the reasons they came out with this piece of propaganda in the first place, to minimize it, so they can get away with things. Because if you're not on guard, that's when you can really be taken advantage of, right?
America, some people are confused to think like, we didn't have a black president. This is America. You got the ability to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. We're in post-racial America. They don't understand that America was built off of race. This is a gang war is what's going on in America. Our group has this power and this leverage. Your group has this power and that leverage. We're going to utilize ours against y'all, because that's just the history of America. So you think they being black, but they feel like they're free from this idea of cooperating together in order to attain power. And what you're doing, I think, is teaching them like, no, you're not.
I would say this, and like me being a little younger, you know what I'm saying? Like, we literally taught G how to troll in the last maybe like 2 months. You would say, G?
probably about 3 months. It was
Yeah,
long,
3 months.
it was long.
And-
It was a
Second
long
pause.
tedious process.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't think y'all understand what's actually going on right now. It goes deeper than all of this. There's literally a bunch of white content creators saying, hey, I deserve to say the word nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't even mean it in this certain type of way. And it's fucked up when it's like younger black people standing next to them and saying, like, I don't care.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like this in a nutshell, past the Dochi situation, everything, it's like the younger men that are coming up of our color are allowing that. And you're seeing that. And I'm not even going to say it's for opportunity. It's just that I don't think that they value or been through the same struggles that our ancestors went through and the older people went through, or dealt with racism themselves and stuff like that too. So it's like I'm
see, but they have. They as far as dealt with racism. This is the lie. This is what she just said, and this is what I just said. The lie of living in a post-racial America, right? The racism is just comes in different forms and it works in different ways, man. Hell, even if they it's like if you got a chicken and you let the chicken out in the yard and there's fences around it, but the chicken think it's free because it's free range, quote unquote, right? But the chicken's still in the yard and you control every aspect of the chicken's life, right? So it's kind of like that with us in some aspects where the ones in power, and we know who that be, will give us a certain level of freedom in order to placate us and give us an illusion of freedom to rock us to sleep, right? So that they can continue to advance their agendas, man. So I think a lot of these younger kids, that's where they fall at, is they fall up under the illusion of being free when in actuality, they're more in chains even than our ancestors were.
flabbergasted. Is so much shit that I see on the internet now. And I'm like, God damn. And then too, like, we didn't got to a point as black people where, not all, but disrespect is like, that's the shit that gets the attention and shit. And I'm literally seeing men that who would never be in no type of confrontations or anything, purposely going online to start narratives and do shit because that's where they think, you know, the clicks are gonna come. And it's fucked up. Like we watch shows where we fight each other. We go at each other all the time. Even the Meg and Tory Lane situation. You watch a group of black people say, she's lying, he's telling the truth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So,
all right, y'all, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna stop it right there. But I did want to bring this conversation up because this was a good conversation. I encourage y'all to go watch the video. You ain't got to sit through the whole I think the whole thing is 3 hours, 46 minutes. Get through it in parts, but it's a very productive conversation, wholesome conversation. At the end of the day, man, this is what we need. I think that Glasses should use this energy in a way to advance this agenda, this movement. I don't know what you want to call it, but don't just let it dissipate. Don't just let the moment pass. I don't think that would be the right move. I think you should take it. If people want to galvanize around you, even if right now they're not fully on board with the type of mindset that we've been talking about, or fully on board with Dochi per se, if they'll do it for you and on the strength of who you are, then take advantage of that and find a way to use that so that we can silence and put to bed some of these things that's been going on, man, and get the message out there. So that's the only thing I would say about that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.